My dear students of second year, I'm Raghvendra Pratap and here I'm again with some content of fourth unit. Please be focused on express your understanding with your comments in the comments section. Very much important to highlight here, once again, lockdown is extended, so please feel the sensitivity and be safe at homes. I changed the cursor from white to black with excellent size to have your sights on the words which I say. So please say something about this as well. So let's start with group discussion. So very much simple understanding, all of you know about this all. Group discussion, the discussion which we do in a group is group discussion. With the very much light words and explanation, the understanding, the definition is given as a group of people. Look at the cursor. A group of people gathered to share their ideas, solve problem, or to make comments is called group discussion. So simple. The definition which I said just before this definition, this one, a discussion which is held in a group, that is group discussion. The same definition is this, but a bit more elaboration, as a group of people gathered to share their ideas, solve problem, or make comments is called group discussion. So what is the importance of group discussion in business world? Group discussion is a way to judge personality and qualities of a person. This is all about the value. This is all about the importance of group discussion in the business world. So with the help of group discussion, we judge the personality and the qualities of a person. Let's move ahead. Group discussion is a compound word. It is quite obvious. This is a compound word. The first word is group and second one is discussion. So group discussion is a compound word where combination of both words has separate meaning and understanding, which is given as follows. So to understand group discussion, which we understood with the help of this definition and the definition which I said as the discussion held in a group, that is group discussion, we will understand the parts which is used to form this compound word separately one by one, as we'll understand what groups are and we'll understand what discussion is as well. Okay, so first one is group. Very much simple it is for every one of you, I know. Very much simple to define what group is. So here some words are given to define the same word, as a group consists of at least two persons. The definition starts with a group consists of at least two persons regulating their conduct and communicate within some set of rules that they mutually decide. The rules, the pattern which at least two persons decide in between, that is group. The same is written, a group consists of at least two persons regulating their conduct and communicate within some set of rules which they mutually decide, that is group. So next part comes with, do we have different types of group? Yes, we have some different types of group. We will understand this one as well. So there are basically four different categories for the types of group. The first one is formal, second one is informal, third one is primary, and the fourth one is secondary. With the name which I just said, self-explainable, if I'm not wrong, these all types which I just said are self-explainable, as formal, which is formally formed, that is formal group. Informal, which is informally formed, that is informal group. Primary, which has primary motives, and secondary, which has secondary motives. One by one we will understand these all four different types a bit differently. What is formal group? Which has a officially approved setup for the people related to some organization or area of work, that is a formal group. Where formal group is all about where officially approved setup and people related to same organization, people related to an organization, that is formal group. What is informal group? People who share common interests and motive. Very simple this too is. People who share some common interests. Look at the cursor. Share common interests and motives where they may or may not belong to a particular organization, as well as no prior approval or pre-arranged setup is necessary. Such gathering is called informal group. I think it is very much clear. Informal, which is formed informally, where they share some common interests and motives, and it is not necessarily to belong to a same organization, and there isn't any need to get the prior approval, no prior approval, or some kind of pre-arranged setup. There isn't any need of that thing as well. Okay, next one is the third one, primary group. So people coming together as they belong to common work. Again, too much simple. People coming together as they belong to common work, or to achieve a common objective, where some people, at least two persons have a basic common objective or basic target, a common target. That is called, the combination of those at least two persons is called the primary group. Okay. And the secondary group is all about where people do not belong to a common work. The simplest thing, secondary group is all about where people do not belong to a common work. And what it involves, it involves wide range of tasks, different tasks, which are to be done by the people capable of achieving these different tasks. This group is divided into two general categories. To understand what secondary groups are, we will divide it into two different categories. The first one is intimate group and the second one is task oriented group. So intimate group is with the word which is used here as intimate. Look at the cursor where I'm moving it. So it includes human family or peers, group of close friends, where the people who are the part of that group are either the family members or very much close friends or very much close colleagues. That is intimate group. But the second type of secondary group, look at the second type of secondary group is all about task oriented group. Here people are gathered, people are arranged, people are managed in a group, in a togetherness, but they perform different tasks. Listen to me, they perform different tasks, but motive is to complete one basic target. The same is written. It includes gathering of people who are responsible to perform different work but to complete a common task. Ultimately, a common task is achieved, common task is completed while performing different work of different field by the different people, and that forms a group ultimately. So that is task oriented group. So this was all about the different types of group. Now something which gives a bit more understanding about the features of group. So some salient features of group. Salient means important features of a group. So what are the features of a group, qualities of a group, things which must be highlighted? So these are four. As it brings participants very much close. If people are a part of a group, it helps them to be very much close, to be a bit close, either very much or a bit. Finally, they come a bit closer to the previous togetherness, previous friendship, or the previous understanding of each other. So it brings participants close. It maintains zeal to the participants because all are the part of the same group. If A is performing well, it is quite obvious with the effect of A, B will try to perform better. The third one is it achieves the objective by many minds and many hands, because ultimately a group is formed with the help of people. So different hands are there and different minds are there to perform to achieve a common target. And the last one is it enhances the level of individual. Obvious, this is quite obvious. If I'm not experienced of a task, I'm not experienced one, but I'm a part of that group who are experienced. Being a being a part of that group, I learn individually. I learn. I will be updated. I will I will push myself to the next level. This is all about the fourth salient feature of group. It enhances the level of individuals. Next one is, we understood what is group. So the second part, the second word of that compound word GD means group discussion. That is discussion. So what is discussion? This word means discussion is derived from a Latin word discutere. Please do not follow the pronunciation which I am using to pronounce this word, as I am pronouncing because English letters are used to form this word. But this is a Latin word and I really don't know how to pronounce this word in Latin language. So it is derived from Latin word discutere, which means to shake. And it also stands for some sort of examination, investigation or evaluation of a subject. This is all about discussion. So what are the ingredients of discussion? What are the ingredients of discussion? There are 5 ingredients. It is quite obvious, it is quite simple, means the essential thing which must be the part of a discussion. So here are 5 things which are considered to be the important ingredients of discussion. The first one is purpose. Purpose bring people together, the first ingredient of discussion. The second one is planning. Planning prepares an outline to express views. Ultimately, discussion is something which is arranged to express, and if something is arranged to express, there must be a planning to express that perfectly. The third one is participation. Participation is that sincere effort to show your presence valuable. The thing is, participation, if you are participating in an activity, it is quite obvious you should take part in that sincerely. Sincerely means with a specific motive, with your zeal, with your enthusiasm completely. That is participation with sincerity. Fourth one is leadership. Leadership is all about appreciate valuable thoughts of anyone. Ultimately, that's a group, that's a discussion, and it may possible other people, means people other than you, can express better thoughts. So this is the quality of leadership, to understand, to give value to those thoughts which are expressed by others. So that is all about leadership. And the last one is informality. Very much essential, very much necessary ingredients of discussion, informality. If in a discussion formality appears, no one can express the views freely, spontaneously. So informality is all about something where people are given. I'm talking about this fifth one. Look at the cursor. Informality, where people are given, such chances, such ways to express their ideas freely, without having the thought who are sitting with them. So this is called informality. There should be an informal or open up atmosphere to share their views freely. This is important, informality. So these 5 ingredients are very much important for the discussion. So we understood group separately and about the different types. We understood discussion separately, means the definition of discussion and from which word it is derived, and also some ingredients of discussion as these. So ultimately the turn comes to group discussion. So let's understand the definition of this compound word. A group of individuals, especially who share a similar interest, who gather either formally or informally to discuss ideas, solve problem, or to make comments, is called group discussion. How simple it is. Group discussion, the thing which are expressed at the very much first, at the very much starting of my video, the same is written here with a bit more elaboration. A group of individuals means where at least two persons are arranged to form that group, or a group of people who share some common interest, where they have some common interest, and that's why they gather. And the purpose of gathering that could be a formal or informal method, but either with the formal or informal method, they are there to discuss some ideas, they are there to solve some problems, and they are there to make some comments on something which they understood. This is all about group discussion. So this definition is something which is written by me. It's up to you. If you understood the definition perfectly, you can use your own words to define the same. Okay, let's move ahead to the second one. We'll understand the nature of group discussion. There is a nature which is called of a group discussion. So four different things comes and described as a nature of discussion. The first one is interactive, where I'm moving cursor. Second one is participatory. Third one is planned, and the fourth one is fruitful. So let's understand these all separately. These four are the nature, means what kind of nature of a group discussion. The first one is interactive. It is always interactive in process, means the process which is used in such a group discussion, that is just to interact, means just to communicate with your thoughts with one another. Participatory means it shows your group participation. When you are a part of a group, when you are, look at the cursor where I'm moving in, when you are a part of a group, it is must for you to show your presence. That is participatory. And if you are there, if you are showing your presence, you will express your views very much perfectly and effectively as well. The third one is planned. It is always a part of planned process. It is always a part of planned process, means when that's a group, there should be a planned way to form that. There should be a planned way to arrange the people in that group. So that is a planned way, means the third nature. And the fourth nature is fruitful. If a group of people is arranged, if a group is formed, there should be a motive behind to form that group. Yes or no? Yes, obviously. So all the group which are made to discuss some points, that must be fruitful. So this is the fourth nature. So fruitfulness is the nature of group discussion to show the productivity in the process. So as finally gets us the conclusion, that is a group discussion. So we understood group discussion and its definition and the nature of group discussions as well. We are moving ahead to the next slide. What could be the objectives of group discussions? We will understand here the different objectives of discussion. There are 5. The first one is, look at the cursor, and if I'm not wrong, it's a nice way to use this black cursor. Please leave your comments about this one as well. And this is the maximum size which I use for the cursor in my life. So as objective, there are 5 points. The first one is suggestions or advice. In group discussions, suggestions and advices are the objective, are considered to be the objective of group discussion. The second one is wide approach. Yes, this is quite obvious. Wide approach. Wide approach means there are different minds, there are different thoughts, there are different experience, and if they are coming together to discuss a point, think logically. If they are coming, I'm talking about this second point. If different minds, different thoughts, different experience are coming to share, to do, to indulge in a discussion on a topic, the approach will be very much wide, because all have different experience, all have different thoughts, all have different knowledge about something. The third point is decision making. This is quite obvious. Decision making is all about something as a basic purpose of all the groups and the discussion which is held in that. So decision making is ultimate conclusion of every formed group. Yes or no? For the discussion, the group which is formed for a particular discussion, a decision is required. The fourth point, fourth objective of group discussion is exchange of ideas. How important, how simple. Ultimately, group discussion is formed to share the ideas, share the thoughts, with respect to the experience which individuals have. So ultimately they will exchange the ideas and thoughts. And the last one is productive. This is the last objective. Productive means ultimately all the groups and the group discussion are productive, show their productiveness. Why? Because if there is a discussion which is held in a group, it must show some product. Product means the conclusion at the last. There should be a final product, means final conclusion of the discussion which is held in a group. So these five are the basic objectives of group discussion. Let's understand the next title, that is conducting group discussion. So there are some ways which can help to conduct a group discussion effectively. So there are three important things to have in the minds. The first one is clarity. Clarity is all about the clarity of thoughts. The thoughts which someone is expressing, that must be very much clear to him first and then comprehensible to the others as well. This is all about the clarity. The second point, friendly environment. It is quite obvious if the environment is not friendly. I'm talking about the environment, means the gathering of the people is not friendly. They won't be able to exchange the views with one another. So this is the second important point before conducting group discussion. And the last one is the process which must be follows as, the first one is preparation before GD. Look at the cursor where I'm moving to the box. Preparation before GD. And next, the GD means in between the GD. And the last one is process after GD. There are some stages which are decided to conduct a group discussion perfectly. So preparation before GD, there are two things which comes. The first one is information about the topic, to gather about the information, to get the information about the topic and collect the respective subject knowledge as well. Okay, if you are informed about the topic prior, you must collect the information which you can get to express your thoughts on that. Second one is availability of the essential data, the thing which I said, information about the topic, and availability of the essential data, whether you have because of your experience. What I'm saying, whether you have because of your experience, means the knowledge of that topic you have because of that experience, because of your experience, or you need to get that knowledge from some other sources. During the GD means in between the process of GD, chairperson must be decided, because that finalize, that person that sets some rule in the process of GD. The second point, which is very much important, that is time limit. There must be a time limit in a GD, because if there isn't any time limit, people will go on to elaborate that as much as possible and can lead themselves in a wrong direction. And the last one is recording, and that is only when if it is required. Recording is the part of the process of GD only when that is required. And the last one is process after GD. So process after GD, there are two things which are essentially be mentioned, essentially be focused on. The first one is summarization of the entire GD. When GD is about to close, it is must to get the summary, means the conclusion at the last. That must come as the conclusion, as the thought of everyone. Everyone means the part of that group. And the last one is final resolution, which is accepted by everyone. So summary which someone presents at the end of the GD or of the complete GD, entire GD, and the final resolution which is accepted by all the members. So this was all about the conducting group discussion. Let's move ahead to the other point, that is do's and don'ts of group discussion. And I'm sure all of you do know what is do's and don'ts means. What are the things which you need to do and what are the things which you are not supposed to do in or during the GD. So let's move ahead one by one. The first point which is very much important about do's and don'ts, that is KISS principle. Please do not refer this as this is actually an abbreviation. KISS principle. Some people do call as KISS principle because it gives us the understanding as keep it short and simple. Case principle is all about when you are a part of a GD, you are supposed to focus on the data which you are sharing, very much short and very much simple to comprehend. That is all about the case principle. So pattern used by the participant must be very much short and simple to get the maximum output. That is called the case principle, KISS principle. Second one is voice. Voice is all about something. You must be very much good with the volume to be reachable to all the participants. The pitch must be very much okay, which you are using in the group GD, in the group discussion. The tone which you are using in the group discussion, that too must be okay. That too must be okay, means that too must be appropriate to use among a group. And the manner which reflect the personality and value to the words, those must be achieved by a person in the voice or with the help of voice. So the thing, voice quality. First we discuss about the case principle. Second one is voice quality. So voice quality with respect to the volume, pitch, tone and manners, which are essentially be used by a person to reflect the personality and the value of the words. That is something essentially part of do's and don'ts of group discussion. So just to have some understanding about these all, if your voice is monotonous means if your voice is very much bored, it will show you are bored with the topic or you are bored with the expression which some other people are reflecting about the topic, other people are expressing about the topic. So it will show monotonous voice express about your boringness and disinterested. Ascending tone means moving upward. One, you will use this tone while communicating something in the group. You will show your astonished expression. You will show that. If your speech is abrupt means suddenly you said something, you will show the defensiveness, means it will reflect the defensiveness of that person. If that person is with low pitch, it will be shown as in depression. Or if a person is with very much high pitch, it will show the enthusiasm of that person. And these all things are achieved with the help of voice: monotonous, ascending tone, abrupt speech, low pitch, high pitch, and the last one is long drawn speech in high pitch, that is disbelief. So these are the ways which are expressed with the voice which you use to express your ideas. The third point is even contribution. Even contribution is all about something. When you are a part of a group, you must show your equal contribution to express your views. So equal contribution of all the members is quite essential for a successful GD. Otherwise, those who are valuable, those who know how to communicate better, those who have deep knowledge or who has some experience about that topic, they will express, rest people will not say. So how we can consider that as a group discussion? So that will not be called as group discussion. So even contribution too is must and considered as do's and don'ts of group discussion. Next one is sincere attitude. Sincere attitude is all about something. You are a part of that group and sincerely you are becoming the part of that group. You are there to express the knowledge of that topic which is given to you before, which is given to you in advance. That is the sincere effort. So participants must be sincere about the gathering and fruitful outcome. The next one is control gesture as playing of hands. Group discussion is a discussion among the people. So it may possible the movement means the gestures which you are showing with the movement of your hands can be understood, can be understood by the other participant wrong. So there are some basic gesture to move your hands to make your words more valuable, but some movements of the hands are quite aggressive, which shows your different kind of feelings which are not accepted as a part of a group. So you must control that. So it conveys the aggressive mood which should not be practiced in a group discussion. And the last one is conclusion. And we know what conclusion is all about, something which we get at the last with a common understanding of everyone. That is conclusion. Let's move ahead. Extremely sorry. So this is a script of sample group discussion where some of the members participated in. So I wrote an example on a topic which is economic development is impossible without inflation. So some participants express their views on this topic. Please read this for your understanding, for your better understanding how to express your views in a group. Sorry. Let's move ahead to the next topic, which is the types of group discussion. Do we have different types of group discussion? Yes, we do have. Just one second. We have some different types of group discussion. The first one is public and the second one is private. So we will discuss only about two different types of group discussion. First one is public discussion, second one is private discussion. And these two different types of discussions are divided into further some subcategories. Like public discussion is held in front of a real audience and follows three different patterns. Public discussion is all about which is being held in front of a real audience. When the audience is real and the discussion is held then and there, that is the public discussion. So there are three different patterns. First one is symposium. Symposium is all about where participants are the part of the audience. Means participants are the part of audience. Means audience is actively participating in the GD. That is symposium. Second one is panel interview. Sorry. I used the wrong word. Not interview. This is panel discussion. So a group of people are gathered. A group of people gathered for a special purpose as to plan or discuss an issue or judge a whole discussion. That is a panel discussion. Panel discussion means people are gathered for some special purposes to judge the whole discussion or to discuss some important issues or topic. That is panel group discussion. And the last one is informal group discussion. What is this informal group discussion? Where there are no specific guidelines to start and to end and to participate. Means for the participants there isn't any guideline. For the participants there isn't any guideline to start, to end, or to behave in the group. So that is all about the last one. Third one means third subcategory of public group discussion as informal group discussion. Let's move ahead to the next one. The second one means private, which is held among a specific group of people only. Among a specific group of people means the people of that group is selected specifically. Okay. So personal exchange with respect to the thoughts, ideas, knowledge and information is the part of private discussion. This is all about the private discussion. Again, understand this word, which is held among a specific group of people only. Personal exchange with respect to the thoughts, ideas, knowledge and information is the part of private discussion. Means they are there to share some personal knowledge, the thoughts which are quite personal, the ideas which they have personally with them. That is shared. That is private discussion. So it too has three basic types. The first one is therapy groups. That is all about to gain personal insight from the advice and suggestions provided by the other members of the group. This is all about to gain personal insight. Personal insight from the advice and suggestions provided by the other members. That is therapy group. Therapy. The second one is educational group. To help group members learn more about a subject or a topic. Educational group, where group is formed to share share more and more knowledge on a topic. That is educational group. Means for the educational purpose a group is formed. For the educational purpose. And the last one is problem solving group. Problem problem solving group is all about task oriented group, where some tasks are arranged in a group to perform, to complete. That is problem solving group. So this was all about the different types of group as public and private, and the subdivisions means subtypes of both these two different types of discussion. Let's move ahead to the next heading: characteristics of problem solving group. So some extra content is given for this kind of group, where I'm moving this type of group, problem solving. So characteristics of problem solving group, there are some as cooperation for a problem solving, because that group is gathered to solve a problem. Again, I'm saying problem solving group is a group where people are gathered to solve a problem. So it is very much must to be cooperate, to have the cooperation with everyone, to share your cooperation actively. That is the characteristics of problem solving group. Second one is analysis and investigation. Analysis of the problem is very much important, because without the analysis you cannot express your thought, and investigation about the same problem. So analysis and investigation, both are the essential part to be conducted prior to be a part of problem solving group. Next one is reflective thinking. What is this reflective thinking? Suppose someone expressed his or her thought. Someone expressed his or her thought about a problem, and after listening that thought, you, with the experience you have, you generate an idea. You generate an idea which you never had earlier. That is reflecting thinking, which comes because of the impression of others' idea. Again, I'm saying you are reflecting your thinking, you are giving your ideas because you got that because of someone else's ideas. Okay, that is reflective thinking. Next one is democratic. Democratic is all about something every member is important, and the knowledge and the solution must be evaluated perfectly of everyone. Means democratic means have the same value, means each and every member must be given the same value. And the last one is cohesion and cohesion. The last point, as a characteristic of problem solving group, cohesion, which is all about the correlation. Correlation, the thoughts which are expressed must be related to one another. Means whatever thoughts are expressed by the group members, those must be related to something for which the group is formed. Let's move ahead to the next heading: stages to prepare GD. There are some stages which are decided to prepare a GD, means to prepare a better group discussion. The stages are selecting a subject, the first one. Second one is statement of the problem, and the third one is collection of the material. So these are few stages. One by one we will go through these all. The first one is selecting a subject. So area of discussion must be divided prior if a GD is arranged. Means if a group discussion is arranged, an area of discussion must be decided prior. Statement of the problem. Statement of the problem is all about something. If the area is decided, area of discussion is decided, it is must to give a statement to that problem. It is must to give that statement, to make a statement with the words to highlight the issue to the other members. The same is written, make a statement or give words to the subject to highlight the issue. And the last one is collection of the material. Collection of the material is all about something. Collect the knowledge. Collect the knowledge if possible, or gather your thoughts you have because of your experience. Either ways are accepted. The next heading is all about method of organizing a GD. What is the method of organizing a GD? So there are 4 different methods. The first one is define the limit, the problem or situation. It is must to define the problem or define the situation. This is the first way. This is the first method of organizing a GD. The second one is analyze the problem or situation. The problem or situation which someone has before forming a GD, before forming a group. to decide, to discuss something. It is must to get the analyzation, to do the analyzation, or to do the investigation prior. The third point, list all possible solutions. List all possible solutions means whatever solutions can be, whatever solutions are expressed by the people, those all must be considered and read, and later on means at the second level, this must be decided by all the groups which solution is better to adopt to resolve that problem. And the last one is resolve that problem, or to find the righteous solution of that issue. And the last one is evaluate and analyze the solution. Evaluate, I'm moving the cursor to the fourth heading, the fourth point, evaluate and analyze the solution. Evaluation and analyzation of the solution is very much must. The solution which is commonly decided by the people, by the people of group, that must be evaluated, and that too must be analyzed. So evaluation and analysis must be done of a solution, and analysis or investigation must be done of a situation or problem. So all these four are the different methods to organize a GD. Next one is brainstorming. This is a kind of, we can say this is a kind of GD. Let's understand. If I'm not wrong, some of you must have heard this word, brainstorming. So we'll understand, and I wrote something in the bracket to understand this actually. Very much with a very much simplest example, I'll explain this. Brainstorming. What brainstorming is? When our president, when our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, discussed all the issues of other states with the CM, that is something which is called brainstorming method of discussion. So what brainstorming is means when the participants are free to express their thoughts, their ideas spontaneously, that is brainstorming. We'll understand this as a group problem solving technique. A group problem solving technique which members spontaneously share their ideas and solutions. Again, I am repeating, a group problem solving technique in which members spontaneously share ideas and solution, where members are spontaneously sharing their ideas, solution, thoughts. That technique is called group problem solving technique. Means commonly it is brainstorming. So when Prime Minister decided to arrange this third lockdown, he discussed this with all the CMs of a different state, all the CM of our different states. He decided that he discussed these all things. He discussed this all to arrange this third lockdown in our country. So that is brainstorming. With the other words, in the other words, brainstorming is a group creativity technique by which efforts are made to find a conclusion for a specific problem by gathering a list of ideas spontaneously contributed by its member, where members are spontaneously contributed their ideas, giving their solution, expressing their thoughts freely, spontaneously. They are free to express the thoughts. That is brainstorming technique. So some other views means some other ways to express the same understanding. Brainstorming is a technique that generates the free expression of ideas within a group setting. Means when a group is arranged, their free expression is given. Free expression is given to all the members. That is brainstorming technique. A group discussion to produce ideas or solve problem. We can say brainstorming, we can define brainstorming as a group discussion to produce ideas or solve problem freely, independently, spontaneously. So these are few different definitions which we can give to explain brainstorming. which we can use to define brainstorming. One thing more, brainstorming is the name given to a situation when a group of people meet to generate new ideas around a specific area of interest. Using rules which remove inhibition, people are able to think more freely and move into new areas of thoughts, and so create numerous ideas and solutions. So commonly this all explains something, a kind of discussion where members are free to express their thoughts, where the members are very much spontaneous to express their solutions, ideas, thoughts. That is all about brainstorming. Let's move ahead to the next slide about the advantages of brainstorming. What are the advantages? First one is it generates abundant ideas. When you are given to express your thought, when you are given to express your ideas, when you are given to express your solution of a problem without having any without having any uncomfortability, whatever idea will come to you, you will express that then and there. That is, it will generate abundant ideas about a problem. The second point, as an advantage of brainstorming, it presents the diversity of views. Means because the ideas are coming then and there, spontaneous responses are shown by the people, so it presents the diversity of views. The views will come with the different diversities. The third advantage of brainstorming, it brings out abundant acceptance of solution. Yes, this too is very much real, very much right. It brings out abundant acceptance of solution, means the solution which are given and the acceptance which are raised, which are given to the solutions. And the last one is it finally leads to higher performance level. This is quite obvious. When the views are too much, when the solutions are too much, so it will be with the top level of performance. So ultimately these four are considered as advantage of brainstorming. And what are the disadvantages of brainstorming? So the first one is sometimes member of the group agrees to an unwise decision. It happens sometimes when people are in impression of other people. So this is a kind of brainstorming. The next one is sometimes it creates misunderstanding among members. Yes, it is quite obvious, because ultimately they are the people of different thoughts, different ideas and different experience. So misunderstanding can be a part of that process. So it is a disadvantage. And the last one is sometimes it dominant less expressive member. When people are not very much expressive, they will be dominated. Okay, so these three are the disadvantages. These three are the disadvantages of brainstorming. Let's move ahead. The group dynamics. Group dynamics is all about the movement which comes in a group. The movements, the same I mentioned, dynamics is all about the movements which is a part of that group. So group dynamics is the interaction and processes that take place in a team. Again I'm saying group discussion is the interaction and processes that take place in a team. That is called group dynamics, means the group movements. Or we can say it gets an insight into mutual intimacy and acceptability of a group. Group dynamics helps to get that mutual intimacy and acceptability that is achievable with the help of that dynamics which is used in that group. The next point, which is about listening in group discussion. So what is the importance of listening in group discussion? So GD is an activity where listen and speak goes together to make it successful. It is impossible to ignore the value of listening as well as speaking. Both are very much valuable. So here are some points which will express the importance of listening. Listen to others attentively. If you are listening others attentively, you will be able to understand the thoughts which someone is expressing as right or wrong. You can understand. Listen in order to reach to others' ideas, because ultimately words are just formed to express an idea, and if you are not attentive to listen the words, you won't be able to get the idea which is formed, which is in the words. Listen, the third one, listen to analyze others' ideas. There's two ways. When you got an idea, you must listen attentively to analyze that. Analyzation can be done when you are listening something very much attentively. The next one is listen not to refute other ideas. Refute is all about refuse. When you listen, no one can say you refuse them. If someone is expressing an idea and at the very much starting of that expression, you refuse that, that is called refusion. That is called you refuse that idea to listen. But when you listen someone, no one can say you refuse. So it's a better way to give the importance of every single member. And next point is listen patiently and don't interrupt other participants. Listen patiently. So patience is very much must. So listening shows your patience. And if you listen someone patiently, you never ever interrupt him or her. Means you never interrupt that participant who is expressing his or her thought. And the last one is be democratic and don't dominate the entire discussion. Even when you have the very much good, very much righteous knowledge about a topic, about a situation, about a problem, then too, you are not supposed to dominate the people. Not in any case. Let the other people realize what words, what understanding, what expression you are giving. I am saying something about the last point. It is must. You must express your views in such a way. You must get the favor of everyone with the help of such formation which they can understand, they can comprehend. So this is the last thing about the importance of listening in group discussion. Let's move ahead to the next slide. That is the team role. What this team role is all about? The team role. Members of a group can play various roles which fall into three different categories. When there is a group which is formed, so team roles is an activity. Team role is an activity which applies individually on everyone. So there are three different categories. The first one is self-oriented roles, the second one is team maintenance roles, and the third one is task facilitating roles. So these three different roles are being performed by every member separately. It depends what kind of nature they have. So first one is self-oriented, means the role of an individual. The role of an individual is all about self-oriented roles. Means if I have some views, very much valuable views, I am self-oriented to express that very much effectively, very much attentively. That is self-oriented roles. Second one is team maintenance roles. Team maintenance roles is all about where individuals are arranged to build the team and its behavior. This is a kind of role which is being performed by the managers, or by the senior people if they are the part of that group. That is the team maintenance role, because they give the value to everyone. They maintain that, they build that team, they build the behavior of everyone there in that group. And the last one is task facilitating role. Sorry. And task facilitating roles is all about roles of holding tasks to perform in the group. The tasks which are given, again I am saying the tasks which are given to some of the people or to everyone, perform in a group while they are arranged, and they perform that effectively. That is task facilitating roles. Means if some tasks are given to the members, that is called a kind of role where they facilitate some tasks. So this was all about the team roles. Next one, and this is the last one as well for today's video. Importance of GD in admission to a professional course. What is the importance of a GD in a professional course? So let's understand. It shows following qualities requires to pursue a professional course effectively. Means when for a professional course GD is arranged, what are the things which are highlighted with the help of GD about a candidate, about a expected candidates to pursue that course? Okay, so the thing which are reflected with the help of GD, the first one is it reflects communication skills of a candidate. Sorry, do not consider this N, it must be of a candidate. It reflects communication skills of a candidate. GD reflects means it reflects leadership quality in a candidate or of a candidate. It reflects logical thinking of a candidate. With the help of GD, it comes with the logical thinking whether he has or not, he or she has or not. Next one is it reflects persuasiveness of a candidate. Persuasiveness is all about convincingness. Means how convincing his words are, how convincing his construction of the words are, how convincing his attitude, his body language. That is all about persuasiveness. Next one is it reflects knowledge of a candidate. With the help of GD, anyone can understand how knowledgeable a person is. It reflects negotiation of a candidate. Means the quality of being negotiated. It reflects because of the GD. And next one is the second last. It reflects acceptable behavior of a candidate. How acceptable behavior he or she has. With the help of GD, it is reflected. And the last one is it reflects team spirit of a candidate. With the help of GD, we can understand how team worker, what a kind of team worker that person is. We can understand this. So this is the last content which we will discuss in this video today, which was importance of GD in admission to a professional course. So in my next video, we'll cover almost all the contents of fourth unit. So please be focused and stay tuned with me. One thing more, some of you are not leaving your comments in the comments section. Please, this is really very much needed to leave your comments. I just want to know who all have gone through. Okay, and for the notification of my next video, please subscribe the channel so that you can get the notification as soon I upload the video. Okay, bye bye, take care. It is very much must to be safe and protective. Take care everyone. God bless you.